All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Crossfit MMA's of the Month Awards for the month of June. What we do is talk about, knockout of the month, submission of the month, stuff like that. And we gave you our picks. And of course, you want to tweet over at Crossfit MMA, and we could read your picks aloud if you want to tell us that we're idiots for it, whatever. But let's introduce everybody. My name is Eddie Law. I'm your host. Of course, you guys know him from Crossfit MMA. Jesse Ruvalcaba, and also Don Manos. You read all his stuff on the website. Both really good guys, part of the team. First of all, fellas, and we'll start with Jesse because we got to talk about it. Last night's main event between Lyoto Machida and Yoel Romero, did you think it was going to go the way it did?
Yeah, I mean, in our breakdown, I kind of alluded to the fact that maybe this is what we're gonna see out of Machida from now on, kind of a fall from grace. I didn't expect it to be that hard, but yeah, that seemed pretty much with what I thought it was gonna happen. I mean, Romero doesn't do the jump in and out like a lot of wrestlers do. He's a lot more smooth with it, so he wasn't gonna get counterpunched. That's what we saw. No counter punching from Machida, and then just got taken down and just got destroyed. So.
Yeah, and Don, when I saw Yoel take Lyoto down, I even said it out loud in front of my friends. I was like, it's over. They're like, oh, he knows jiu-jitsu, he can get off his back. We've never seen Machida on his back. I mean, very, very little. And in the times we have seen him, he struggled a bit. What did you think as soon as that happened?
As soon as he went down, I knew it was over because Lyoto in his career has that problem with southpaws, and wrestlers are his main weakness. I mean, Phil Davis, great wrestler, beat him. Kind of controversial, but Yoel Romero's on another level when it comes to this division. He'll take you down, and he can beat you. And I really don't see anybody other than maybe a Jacare who can probably beat him.
Yeah, and of course, and this almost, it kind of did for a while, but not so much anymore as of this morning. But the Yoel Romero's post-fight interview kind of overshadowed the entire event, and I mean hardcore. If you were on Twitter, it was like you watched a grenade of holy shit explode. It was incredible and discouraging all at the same time. Jesse, when you heard what he said, first of all, did you think he said that? First of all, people thought he was against, he's basically bashing gay marriage and saying go to Jesus. The other side saying, and his English is kind of shitty, so it sounded like he said not forget Jesus, so don't forget Jesus or whatever. What did you think he said when you heard it?
Initially I thought he had said the gay Jesus thing. That sucked. I even was like afraid to open up Twitter after that because I just was assuming the barrage of like homophobic tweets was coming his way and the UFC's way. But man, honestly, I really think he probably did mean to say something along those lines. Maybe because he is the soldier of God, trying to remind everybody about Jesus and stuff. But I think maybe in the back they kind of told him, gotta not say stuff like that on live television and kind of gotta change your tune here. But I mean, it's hard because everybody has an opinion on the subject, and to give somebody with a name like that and kind of with like not the ability to really express himself correctly, you're kind of asking for trouble. I think he tried to take a little bit of a stand or kind of try to remind people of something, and it kind of went bad for him.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I thought for sure that the beginning of his speech, because it was like, what's going on in America? What's wrong with you, America? It said something along those lines, basically insinuating something's wrong with America or the U.S. And I thought for sure, when I heard that, I was like, oh, God, no, he's going to go into the gay thing. And then it sounded like he took it a step further. I listened to it, you can listen to it 10 times in a row, and 5 out of 5, you'll hear one part, and the other 5, you'll hear the other side. Don, when you heard him talking, what do you think he said?
Oh, I was laughing the whole time because I heard gay Jesus.
Yeah.
My mind was gay Jesus. I was like, when was that a part of life at all? I've read the Bible. I don't remember gay Jesus. But then it was just Twitter.
Yeah.
The first thing that came to my mind was it was funny. And then I went on Twitter and I laughed. Ricardo Lamas, it might be the funniest dude in MMA.
Yeah, that was great. Oh, man. I was hoping hashtag gay Jesus would become a thing. I really did. Because I thought it was like, dude, people's brains would explode on Twitter if they read hashtag gay Jesus. So,
that should be on his pants in the next fight.
Definitely. It should be gay Jesus right next to dude wipes. That'd be the best fucking thing ever. All right. But, I'm kind of with you guys. I mean, look, even if he did mean to say the whole gay thing, It was hilarious for sure. I was laughing my ass off. But I do think if he said it for sure, just like you said, they told him in the back, like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're just asking for it. So just tell him that you had no idea what you were saying, or make something up. It sounds like you said forget, whatever. But even to right now, as of right now, you look on Twitter, people are still divided big time, and it's to me it's more funny than anything. But some of these people take this shit seriously, so it's kind of I don't know, it's pretty crazy. But let's get into the awards here. On the top, let's actually start with Undercard Fighter of the Month. Jesse, who do you have for that?
You convinced me in finding this person. I actually picked him twice in this month. I went with Yair Rodriguez. That guy he wasn't per se the undercard, but I mean that guy really impressive. I mean, man, everything he showed under the conditions that he fought under, I mean, that's a star in the making right there for sure.
Yeah, and Yair is he's an exciting guy, and he's an exciting prospect, and you're hoping that he lives up to it. Maybe moving to I forgot where Jimmy's at, but whatever Jimmy's at, just keep improving there because it's fun as hell to see him fight. Don, who do you have for undercard fighter?
I'm gonna take it back to last week in Berlin, Makwan Amirkhani. That dude has spent in a combined 2 fights less than 2 minutes in the octagon. He has won with chokes. Dude is a crazy stand-up. Only lost 2 times, got those out of his way. He might be a new threat in the featherweight division. Look out, probably 2016, 2017. Crazy.
Yeah, and I agree. And I was kind of rooting for Masio Follin. All right, I got to back my boys. But I knew for sure this is a bad fight for him because Amirkhani he won his first fight in the UFC via knockout, right? That knee that he threw up. But he is known as a submission specialist. Masio Follin's submission defense, not so great, especially if you watch The Ultimate Fighter. So, yeah, definitely, that's a great pick. I actually went with Yair Rodriguez as well. Again, just dude is showing so much promise. And actually, I had it between those two guys, so we were kind of thinking in similar terms there. But Rodriguez is just so good already, and he's a young guy, and you're just hoping that his potential is that great that he becomes the next big star, especially coming out of Mexico. Now that a certain heavyweight fucked up. So anyway, moving on here to the next one. Let's do event of the month. Let's start with Don.
All right, this event when it was first announced, I got hyped for it way over, and then people started falling off. UFC New Orleans. I was hyped up the second I heard Cormier versus what's his name, Ryan Bader, but then they fell off. Cormier got the title now. That card was amazing. Only 2 fights went to decision, but those fights were amazing too. You had 3 or 4 fights on the main card that didn't make it out of the first round. You had Brian Ortega and Thiago Tavares taking it to 3 rounds in a war. Without a doubt, the best card I've seen in a long time from the UFC.
You know what? And that's exactly what my pick is as well. I got UFC New Orleans. I believe it was 6 finishes in the main card. The all more finishes. And Dustin Poirier, boom, coming back. Sean Jordan showing that he's he's pretty damn athletic for an unathletic looking dude. It was just a fun card overall. And I was one of the first ones. As soon as that Bader Cormier fight fell off, I was like, damn, dude, I only want to watch Dustin now. I'm glad as hell I stayed for the whole card though. I watched the entire thing. Jesse, your pick for event of the month.
Man, it was tough, but I think the one for me that really just showed everything that I like about MMA was actually, and probably going to get crapped on for this, Bellator 138, the Ken Shamrock, Kimbo Slice event.
Yeah.
And, I mean, take away that main event, all those fights were exciting. They were showing off their best talent that they have. And honestly, it was just an all-around great night of fights. Then you had the freak show at the top there, a little bit of controversy, or lots if you're one of those tin hat wearing guys. But it was just a good night of fights. I mean, honestly, I was really happy for Bellator to be able to pull something off like this. And then the announcements they make, I mean, they're making Bellator seem like an exciting place to go watch some MMA for free. So, I mean, that was my pick this time.
And you know what? Aside again, it's like you're saying, aside from that circus at the main event, Daniel Strauss fight was legit. I think that was the one with the Pitbull fight, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Pitbull fight.
That was massive. That was awesome. But yeah, Bellator 138, you can make your case, man, no problem. All right, moving on here to number 3, upset of the month. I'll go first because I want to get out of the way. To me, the upset of the month, and I'm sure Jesse knows what I'm going to say. The upset of the month has to be Fabricio Verdum beating my boy Kane at UFC 188. And I'm saying, I mean, to me, as an upset. A lot of people did pick Fabricio, which made sense. All the things against Kane, and those are all excuses for whatever and whatever. But it's just, to me, I don't know. I had this faith in Kane that he was gonna come in, ready to go, injury or not or whatever. And to get sub like that, like my jaw was on the ground, but I was also super depressed, man. So that's mine for Verdum over Kane. By the way, 100% credit to Verdum. He is easily the better fighter out of the two. Hopefully, get to see a rematch in the next year or so. But I'm actually excited to see Verdum against either Arlovski or Stipe. I think they're gonna do Stipe. I'm not sure. But let's go with Don. Your upset of the month.
I gotta go same. You can't deny it. I mean, Cardio Kane. You thought he was going to come in there and be just like Dominic Cruz, coming back after over a year and just start wrecking shop, and then it shows that being in Mexico City for only 2 weeks kind of kills you. Sucks, because that was my favorite fighter.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, Verdum shows the Brazilian talent, man, starting to come back.
Yeah, and again, if you want to talk about a guy that's evolved in the next last 7, 8, 9 years. He's the guy that he beat Fedor. No one talked about him. He beat Fedor, and no one talked about Fabricio as a guy that could be a champion in the UFC. So, fought his way up, proved that he's the best.
Arguably,
Yeah.
he's the greatest heavyweight of all time if you think about it. Just look at his record. He's beaten Kane, Fedor, and then he's beaten a lot of these up-and-comers like Roy Nelson, Travis Brown. He makes it look easy. His only slip-up in the UFC was to, what's his name?
JDS.
Yeah, JDS.
Yeah, and I would love to see that rematch, by the way. I'm sure JDS does too. All right, Jesse, your upset of the month.
Man, it's going to be a clean sweep here. I mean, for every single reason you guys talked about, I mean, if you looked at pretty much every single pick across the board on that fight, most people had Kane winning that fight. A lot of people didn't even give Fabricio a chance. I mean, with everything his camp was saying that Fabricio's just going to get smoked, he's got no chance in the world. And, I mean, Fabricio came out and made everybody look stupid. I mean, people that, so many people were jumping off the Kane wagon as it was going down and jumping on Verdum right away. But, I mean, you just gotta look at that body of work, like Don was saying. I mean, arguably, he now has to be, in my opinion, the greatest heavyweight ever. I mean, there's really no doubt in my mind. I mean, people are like, what's his name, Emelianenko and stuff, Fedor, and it's like, well, yeah, he had a good run, but he got beat by Verdum. Kane, oh no, he's better than Fedor. He got beat by Verdum. So I mean, people are just looking to kind of bring him down from where he's at, but I think he is probably the best heavyweight we have right now, and we should all enjoy watching him fight because, man, he is exciting. So
yeah, and not only that, the guy he's a charismatic dude. He's a guy that you can actually like. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people, actually, almost nobody liked Brock Lesnar because he couldn't, but which is weird to say about a wrestler, by the way. Because one thing I know about pro wrestlers, you gotta have charisma. And I'm sure, his gimmick was a big, bad meathead that, didn't have to say very much. But, with Kane, really quiet, didn't say much, never talked trash. And Verdum didn't really talk trash, but he was honest about how he felt, and it pissed a lot of people off. So, definitely a very special talent, and a guy I agree we should definitely enjoy watching. And I'm actually really excited to see what he's going to do, but I'm going to keep Kane as my favorite fighter, and I'm hoping he makes some kind of comeback. I want to see him fight for the title again at some point soon. But just after he proves that he can stay healthy, of course. All right, moving on here. Number 4, or the fourth category of the night or the day, female fighter of the month. I have a feeling it should be pretty damn easy. We'll start off with Jesse.
Joanna Day, man. I mean, that performance she put on just goes to show you exactly why she's the champ, and probably going to stay the champ for quite a while. I don't even see what's her name? The one that just got signed from World Series of Fighting, coming in and doing anything. Yeah, Aguilar. I mean, she's good, but I mean, I think she's on a whole nother level from JJ. JJ is just way ahead of everybody right there. She's the comparisons to the Ronda Rousey of that division, pretty well deserved. I mean, she's proven it, and that was just what, like 3 rounds, or was it 3 or 4 rounds of just like a brutal beating. I mean, yeah. That fight was just went on too long of a beating, one-sided beating, and yep, pretty easy. I mean, were there any other women fighting this fight?
Exactly. That's exactly the point right there. Don, who'd you get?
The Polish Ronda Rousey. I mean, come on. She dominated a girl that I love. I love Jessica Bennett. I watched her on The Ultimate Fighter. I loved her. And then you can't deny the fact that she probably is the best striker of all females in the UFC. And I'm taking all the way up to the 135 division. She could probably, if she pound for pound, she could beat anybody in the female division. I don't care what division it is. She sits down on her punches better than anybody I've ever seen at the female level, other than Cyborg, who can arguably be both male and female fighter of the year.
Yeah, you can make that argument. She looks like Wandy, like female Wandy. Of course, like I said, there's just no way you can pick anybody else. My pick, Joanna Jay. So damn dominant. Not only that, she's violent, but she and I didn't think about this until after I talked to some people about it. She moves a lot like Chuck Liddell with her punches. And, when she hits you, she's not trying to just let you feel it. She wants to make you hurt. She's trying to hurt you with every punch. By the way, a lot of credit to Jessica Panay for being able to stand up to stand with her and not get knocked out, because damn, all right? And that huge gash she got on her nose and everything. By the way, you assholes on Twitter that were saying, oh, now she can get a nose job because of pricks, all right? Fucking stop talking shit about her nose, all right? If she want to keep it that way, if she want to change, she would have done it by now. But, she did get that thing destroyed. So, again, Johanna just way too damn dominant. I really don't see anybody. I don't see Paige, Rose, anybody standing with her and surviving. That fight has to go to the ground. And as you saw, Johanna's super hard to get to the ground and keep her there. So, definitely, that girl knows how to sprawl. All right, so that's going to be our female fighter of the month. And, of course, the obvious next one, male fighter of the month. Start with Don.
Okay, I mean, it's really not that hard. Once again, I mean, Vicavallo Sobretados. I mean, Vicavallo, man, you can't deny it. He beat Cardio Kane in Kane's home city, basically, Mexico, man. I give it to Fabricio. We've already said too much about him.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm picking Fabricio for Doom. It hurts to do it, believe me. I almost went Dustin Poirier on this one, but to win the title and unify the titles, when everybody and their mom is saying you're gonna lose because you're in this guy's, I guess arguably homeland, even though he's from Yuma, it's too much. You can't argue it. Fabricio Verdum is also my pick for male fighter of the month. Jesse?
I told you I had picked this guy twice here, and it's Yair Rodriguez. I mean, I really think that he had the breakout performance of the month. Verdum, I mean, awesome guy. I picked him as well, but I had to go with Yair here. I mean, he's the better. He showed so much potential, and he showed so much that I think he has me excited for what his next performance is going to look like.
Yeah, definitely. And just let you know, we got jokes. We got jokes coming on Twitter. This guy Aaron_41D on Twitter says comeback fighter Kimbo. So you guys are getting after it. Appreciate that, fellas. Anyway, oh wow, I missed the screen here. All right, moving on. Our sixth category for the show, submission of the month. I'll go first. And again, I hate to say it, but Fabricio Verdum choking out Kane. In a way I didn't think was going to happen. I thought Kane wouldn't even, I thought Kane would take him down. But when you take somebody down like that, like Fabricio, you got to keep your neck, like your chin to your chest. And Kane went in their head as high as possible, and he got guillotined out. So I'm going to give it to Fabricio. I'm sure there was others, but to me that was the most impactful. That's how I felt about it. Jesse, who's your pick?
I ended up going with Joe Proctor against Justin Edwards. Joe Proctor got that pretty much last second guillotine. I think that now holds the record for latest submission in a 3-round fight. So And up to that point, that fight was just wild anyway. So I mean, to me that was just he sunk it in. He dug in there, and he just Edwards really defended as well as he could, tried to get out of it, and just succumbed to it and went to sleep. So to me, that was the best submission of the month.
All right, Don.
I'm going with the man, the myth, the legend, Ben Rothwell over Matt That man might have the single greatest post-fight speech I've ever heard in my life. I mean, Mark Munoz was good, but he did not have an evil laugh saying that he's coming after the rest of the division. He should have walked out after he laughed and said nothing else. But that choke that he had against Mitrione, because everyone was saying Mitrione's the next big contender. He's going to beat Rothwell, then he's going to go up and he's going to get the title. And Rothwell shows it takes a lot more than just punching power to beat anybody in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, you know what, man, I agree. He should have walked out and not done any questions, but unfortunately, he went back, answered questions completely out of character, and that's what killed me about it. I was like, God damn it, dude, you could have just walked out. It was bad enough that he did what he did, and then to come back and be like, oh yeah, whatever, I'm not mad at all. Like, what the fuck? So, that was, yeah, I don't know, it was weird. Okay, moving on here to knockout of the month. Let's start with Don.
I can't say his first name very well, but Kato over Joe Schilling.
Oh,
that
so
Superman
crazy!
punch was sick. Like, I've never seen somebody, other than when Travis Brown did it to Struve, someone get knocked out on a Superman punch and look like they were dead. Schilling might need to step out of the cage. I love Schilling to death, but it seems like Glory is where he needs to be. Yeah,
man, Schilling, he didn't talk shit before the fight that much, but at the weigh-ins, first of all, I thought Schilling looked like shit. I thought that weight cut got him real bad. But, you know, he said, well, I don't know, because Kato Gay said a bunch of shit about how he's going to make himself famous with Joe Schilling. And Schilling's like, I don't know what the hell he just said, but I'm going to knock him out. He's going to be famous for being added to my highlight reel. And to get knocked out like that, goddamn. So I'm a big Joe Schilling fan. Freaking props, credit, everything to Kato. That was crazy. Jesse, who's your knockout of the month?
My knockout of the month was Sean Jordan. I mean, to see a big dude bring up his leg and heel kick somebody in the face like that, that was impressive. My initial thought was last night's Thiago Santos head kick, because that was just crazy, but still, man, seeing a fat guy lift up his leg like that, I mean, that was impressive.
and then to have Brian Stanton ask him to do the backflip after the fight, I guess I didn't see it on camera. I saw it on YouTube somewhere, or on Twitter. But yeah, that guy can move, man. That guy's athletic as shit for not looking athletic whatsoever. All right, my knockout of the month is last night's Thiago Santos knockout over Steve Boss. Look, it was just freaking savage. It was crazy. Just the way he dropped it. It was perfect technique, perfect placement, perfect timing. And my favorite part of it is when Boss hit the ground and Thiago goes over him like he's gonna drop another one, and then he pulls back. To me, that's gangster as fuck. That's like telling him, like, hey, I could fuck you up some more, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let it go. So that was just a badass knockout to me. Definitely my knockout of the month, and awesome fight. All right, moving on here to our wow, where are we? Okay, here's one of my favorite things to do here. What the fuck of the month? I'll go first. To me, the one what the fuck of the month wasn't even a fight. It was the Jose Aldo injury announcement. I mean, if you didn't hear this announcement and have your heart just kind of sink a little bit, if you're a big-time fight fan, I don't know what you're watching. Because to hear Jose Aldo have broken ribs, after all the promo, after all the talk, all the hype, you know, like some people literally went to sleep saying their prayers, saying, you know, please protect me, Jesus. Please protect my family. Please surround, you know, just put Jose Aldo in a box with a bunch of those packing peanuts and don't let him move anywhere until July 11th. You know, I mean, goddamn. So that got me. That was my what the fuck of the month. Let's go, Jesse. What was yours?
It was already mentioned, but it was literally my what the fuck of the month. That was the Ben Rothwell post-fight speech. That just the whole thing was just. I mean, you could also file that under most awesome thing you saw this month. And unfortunately, I had to do a number 2. Because it was a close one, was also the Ken Shamrock Kimbo Slice fight. I mean, those two things this whole month just kind of shined throughout. But for me, number 1, Ben Rothwell. I mean, that was just awesome.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you on that one. I mean, I was watching it like a lot of people, like, I watched it with a bunch of my friends, and some of my friends were like, "Oh yeah, that was great," and I'm the only one sitting there going, "What just happened? Like, can anyone explain that to me?" Because first of all, that little hand thing he does is kind of like, it's super practiced. It's like it's so choreographed, like he works on it. And then the laugh, I'll give him this. It was high quality laugh because he didn't fuck it up whatsoever. That was on point. All right, so no, that's a good one right there. Don, what's your pick?
Ken Shamrock versus Kimbo Slice. It's like you take a huge what the fuck and you wrap it up in a piece of shit fight. Because Ken Shamrock, look at him in the past. Granted, I'm way out of shape. I'm not like in shape like Ken Shamrock, but I could finish a single leg takedown against Kimbo. I could probably take Kimbo's back and submit him. Granted, he has a huge beard. But why did it seem weird that Ken had him in a submission, gave it up, whatever, stood up and looked like he was done? Like, my dad never pointed. My dad doesn't love MMA like I do. He was like, Ken looks like he's finished already. And then 2 punches later, he was dead, basically. I don't want to say it was fixed because, I love Pride and I know most of those things were fixed. Yeah. So we're just going to leave it at Ken Shamrock versus Kimbo is a what the fuck moment, period.
Yeah, that had a lot of it in that fight, and a lot of people saying it was fake. I'm not saying Bellator fixed it. I could say that those two guys fixed it because that 50-50 clinch in the middle of the cage where they were like scooting back and forth, looking like they were talking, really tripped me up during the fight. And then to have him, you were watching it when he had him on the rear naked choke, and instead of putting his hand on the back of his head, he had it at the top. That made no sense. And then the way Kimbo came out, it was just awkward, weird. I'll tell you what, though, those punches he dropped on Ken were real as fuck. If they had agreed to not hit each other, Kimbo said, "Yeah, right, I'm going to knock you out, dude." Boom! So, that agreement felt the shit at the very end, I think it seems. But whether or not you think it was real, it's just really – it was sad for me to watch 51-year-old Ken Shamrock go out like that, and then to hear BS talk about Royce Gracie possibly fighting Ken Shamrock in Bellator. I'm like, no, don't do it. Just don't do it. All right, so and we had a tweet earlier before the show even started from Andrew Reed saying he wants a twat of the month, and he his nominee was actually Ken and Kimbo Slice. So that was theirs. I don't suppose you guys picked one, did you?
Scott Coker.
Jesse, if you had to pick one, who would you pick?
I'd probably go with the Ken Shamrock, Kimbo. Those two guys just it was so ridiculous. To really think that it was going to be other than what it was. Like I had written on the website earlier. A 51-year-old guy. If you go back and look at the whole fight card when they're showing Ken warm up in the back. I'm not athletic by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm pretty sure I could pop punches better than Ken was doing back there. It looked like he was half asleep. It was a bad show all around for those two guys. But that's my choice for that one.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Bellator as a whole. Not the fighters themselves, but mostly the organization will keep putting on this garbage. As soon as you heard about Kimbo Ken, you're like, what the hell? What's going on? Like, because Bonner and Ortiz, Bonner Ortiz wasn't bad enough. Because that wasn't bad enough. We had to go this far. And then the talk of Royce Gracie against Ken Shamrock. No, just stop Bellator. But just try to get some real fights out there. It almost makes me think like Scott Coker was doing this shit on purpose to make them look bad. But the numbers are there. I'll give him that. The ratings and the views are there. So you can't knock the results. Just the methods. The methods are really, really suspect and kind of just fucked up. So.
And then you've got Tito fighting for your title next. So.
Yeah, what the fuck? And then Josh Koscheck signing with Bellator. I want to fight Paul Daly again. What the hell? You know what I mean?
They also got Herschel Walker saying he wants to come back and face Kimbo.
Oh, god damn it. And then Seth Petrozelli actually rushed the cage after the Kimbo fight, and they actually shoot him away. Yeah.
You know what, though? I saw the video last night, and I watched the fight again. That security guy that held Romero from getting into the crowd, that dude deserves an award, far beyond anything, cookie of the month or something for that guy, because man, his defense was so much better than what's his name, Lyoto's defense for anything. So that was funny too.
To me, the funny thing about that, because we're watching it, when he jumped out, I'm like, oh, he's going into the crowd, whatever. That guy holding him back with one arm, okay? I was like, put that guy in the cage of UL, okay? Lyoto couldn't hold him. This motherfucker's doing it. Put him in there. Fuck it. Let's see it again. So that's a good point right there. All right, moving on to our last. I believe it's our last. Yeah, our last um, category. Fight of the month. This is the fight that impressed you the most, and maybe meant the most to you, or you thought meant the most. We'll start with Don.
All right. Shout out to my boy Lorenz Larkin versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. That fight, I knew Larkin would win because Larkin's looked crazy good since he dropped. Santiago looked good-ish, but that whole last exchange where he kind of dropped Larkin for a second, Larkin stood up and then dropped him twice, and then he stood him up, and then you saw him walk across the side of the cage and eventually fall down. That was good. I mean, I wanted to get to Pitbull's fight, but this fight was too good for me.
All right, Jesse.
Man, it was a close one because both of these fights just showed a lot to me. But I'm gonna have to break your heart, Eddie, and go with Cain versus Verdum. That fight just solidified for me what Verdum is all about. I mean, he's the best heavyweight that we have right now, and Cain just, it showed that Cain is still, even though he has all these fights, he was a champion and everything, he's still inexperienced in there. Didn't come in as prepared as he could have been, showed some rust, and just showed wear. And I mean, I think it's those wars that he's been in where, like I was saying before, he doesn't just finish fights. He likes to just stick around and get popped around too much, and that's starting to catch up with him. So yeah, for me it was Cain Verdum. My second closest pick was JJ against Penne because I mean, we just got to see JJ destroy another girl, and it just seems like she's gonna keep doing this over and over again. So, but yeah, Cain Verdum.
All right, my pick is going. It was very, very close. Between actually no, it wasn't that close. My pick is Patricio Pitbull knocking out Daniel Weichel, I think is how you say his name. Yeah, at Bellator 138. Pitbull was hurt. He was done. Saved by the horn, whatever. Saved by the horn at the end of the round, and to come back and knock out Weichel the way he did, it was just I jumped out of my seat when I saw it. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck just happened, You can say whatever you want about the difference between quality and fighters between the UFC and Bellator and any other organization, but Pitbull showed heart to come back after being hurt and drop it. First of all, that fight right there is everything, almost everything that you love about MMA. Almost everything you love about MMA. Adversity, a champion being put in adversity, a challenger coming up and showing that he's got something to show the world. To put a champion like that on his back, hurt him at the end of the round, basically show him like, hey, you're human now. We're going to go at it, and I'm going to beat you. And then to have the champ dig deep, go hard, all heart, and to knock him out, it was, it's like I said, it's everything I love about MMA. It's my favorite fight of this last month for sure, my fight of the month. So that's going to do it for our categories. Start with Jesse. Any surprises that you heard from me between me and Don?
Honestly, I was pretty surprised that at your guys' pick for event of the month. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it was a really good event, and I guess I'm gonna have to really go back and look at it. I mean, it was kind of forgettable for me, but yeah, I mean, just that really that puts it in a new light. I'm gonna have to go back and take a look at that one again. But I mean, yeah, that Pitbull fight was crazy, man. I really thought he had lost that fight at the end of that round. I was one of those people that was like, oh my God, he's done. He lost, and for him to come back and knock the dude out, that was crazy.
Yeah, he could barely walk in, to his corner. In the corner, he looked like he was still out. But what about you, Don? Any surprises?
Not really. I mean, a lot of the stuff on there. I forgot about Yair Rodriguez, though, for real. I forgot how good that guy actually was. Was he the one who beat Christos Giagos?
What, the last event?
Yeah, in his fight, didn't he beat Christos?
Damn, I look bad now.
I don't remember the guy who beat Christos Giagos, but that guy was also impressive on the undercard because I thought Christos was going to be the next comer.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. I can't even spell his name right now, but yeah, okay. My surprise to me was how many times I picked Fabricio Verdum for a goddamn category. For a guy that basically broke my heart that night. Was fucked up. I picked him three times, was it? It's 1, 2. Yeah, 3 times. Yeah. I got him for male fighter, submission, and upset of the month. So again, that I just respect the guy. Okay, I don't have to like him, but I respect him as a fighter big time. Yeah, so that's kind of gonna be it. So, all right, fellas. Well, thanks for joining me today. Appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to come do the award show. You could also follow. Actually, you can follow Jesse over as SPW181983 SWAT. SPWAT. I don't even know how to say that shit, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Don, you can follow at CBMMA _, Don. And this motherfucker just did the Rothwell. You just do the Rothwell. And you can follow me at ELO31. Follow the page at Crossroads MMA. And also go to the page crossroadsmma.com. We have a new design, just got relaunched. New articles. Don's article is going up today. Make sure you keep a lookout for it. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you guys next time. See ya.